Well, good morning, YouTube. Coming to you a little later than I had planned to. It's already 6:15, May 26th. I had started to make this yesterday, but I was so whooped from camping still, I just never really finished it up. The last day I was there, I actually hurt my foot really bad. I went to stomp a branch to break it, and I had my Crocs on, not the strongest type of shoe. It doesn't matter, I didn't see the little nub that was sticking up off the branch anyhow, but there's this little nub about that long sticking up off of one of the branches where another branch had been, and it went right through my Croc and in the bottom of my foot and left a nice hole. That's all I could say. It was a gash, and it hurt. It screwed me up the rest of the night. I bled for a little bit, and then Julia cleaned it up and bandaged it for me. But it certainly threw a wrench into my gait for a few days. I just wasn't walking right, and which left my hips and my back and my knee hurting more than it usually does. But I say that because that's really the only bad thing that happened to us on the whole trip. You know, we had some cooler weather, which is fine, overcast days, which was fine. But all in all, our trip to the Cohutta Wilderness Management Area was pretty fun. What that is a huge area that is designated for outdoor activities, and it's predominantly set up in a big loop. And each segment is divvied up in a different, like 3 miles for this segment, and then you have a stopping point or whatever, and then 5 miles through this segment you have a stopping point. So you can make a day trip of it and kind of stop at all the different places and fish and hike and do whatever you want. People stay in that area for days on end, because there's permitted camping all through the National Forest part of it. Plus there's campgrounds, and there's even some private homes right on the outskirts of the wilderness loop. But it's northern Georgia and southern North Carolina, or southern Tennessee rather. But it was pretty cool. So we got a little video montage of some of the things we did. We did some fishing. We did some hiking. We hiked up to this fire tower. It was brutal. We had no idea really how far it was, but it looked on the map to be roughly 1.5 miles, maybe 1.75 miles, something like that. So we went for it, but it had a grade of like 30% at some times. It was brutal getting up it. 30% would be something like that. It was, short segments that vehicles would have had to really climb to get up, which is why they had to close the vehicles except for the workers. But it was pretty amazing. We went up several hundred feet in elevation. I don't know how far, but I'd venture to say at least 500 feet or so in elevation. The switchbacks were high and they were steep. So, but Lincoln won. He came in first both times, climbing and coming down. I was last both times. But yeah, we canoed. It was the first time the kids did any canoeing, which was a big deal for Gigi. She's been wanting to for a long time. So she learned a lot. Link learned a lot. They both gained a little confidence being on the open water. And quite honestly, for me, I hadn't kayaked or canoed in probably 9 or 10 years. So it was, good to get out there. I've done some kayaking recently, like maybe 4 years ago. But I think as a family, I'd like to get us all kayaks. It's just when you go into canoe, obviously you all have to go into it together. So if one person doesn't really want to go into that cove or doesn't want to go into the open water, you're kind of at the will of that person. But if you have kayaks, you can each go where you really want and kind of stay relatively close. And I think as a family, we would enjoy that more. That's kind of how we operate. We explore together, but yet still independently. But so trying to think what else. The last night ended up being really nice. The skies finally cleared, and we stayed up and had some marshmallows and told scary stories. And then the next morning, the morning we were packing and leaving, was absolutely gorgeous. It was the first, blue sky day. The lake was super calm. It was just really, really nice. So it made picking up and getting ready to go, it was just a little more pleasant because we weren't dealing with any rain or anything. So, but let me go ahead and I'll put these videos or this group of pictures here up so you guys can see some of the adventures we had, and hope you enjoy it. So Cohutta Wildlife Management Area is where we stayed. The kids were having s'mores the very first day after setting up, and had them every day, different times. Lincoln brought his camera, his little Polaroid, and then he also drew pictures that he saw of things. There's the kids on the trail. Gigi eating another marshmallow. Our tent site, it's a really quiet campground. Wasn't many people around at all. And that's a map of the lake area and part of the wilderness management area. Gigi. Shot of the lake from near where we, near the trail we walked. Kids really enjoyed the tent. They stayed in there a lot because it was kind of chilly, but also they were reading and enjoying reading, and so they had the dogs in there. They slept with us at night, which was kind of cool. They kept us warm. Yeah, these snails that were everywhere, they were huge. And millipedes too, huge millipedes. That's some pictures of the water. This berm, incidentally, is what created the lake. It was built at the bottom of a stream and it dammed up and created the lake. There's Lincoln drawing some of the things he saw. There's Gigi chilling on the hammock. Logs chilling on the hammock. Everyone chilled on the hammock. So it tells me we need to get more hammocks because we were fighting over who could have it. So there's the canoeing going on. Everyone canoed. Julia went by herself. I went by myself. And then I also took the kids individually, one at a time. It was a lot of fun. They really got a lot of confidence and learned quite a bit. So it was their first time. There is the infamous hammock. I don't know why I got that picture in there, but board games. Yeah, you always got to play something to kill the time. We played Yahtzee. Some more pictures of us canoeing. That's Lincoln's dog, if you didn't know, Little Brownie. Gigi keeping an eye on the food as it cooked. Nice shot of the canopy, but it's not as nice as this. Bam! Julia cooked me a steak the one day. It just was delicious. Julia, her coffee, going for a walk. Yeah, just like I said, the kids played in that hammock quite a bit. Gigi and I did a little bit of fishing. Didn't do so well. My tackle was kind of... We moved like 3 times, and my poles and my tackle weren't in very good order. So we had some issues, but we fished nonetheless, and we did see some big fish. a big old bass, some big panfish. There's us playing football. Another shot of us playing football in the street. It was kind of fun. So when I got on the hammock, Link would come over and cuddle up and he would fall asleep. He did that a couple times. There he is again. A wildflower. I don't know what it is, but it was pretty. Just another picture of the lake. And that's how the skies were almost every day. And that's how Gigi was most every day. There's a big fish in there. Too hard to point out, but Gigi and I had to paddle over and get some of our tackle out of the tree. It got stuck up there, so we went and cut it down and got it back. The walk up to the fire tower, my goodness, this walk about killed us. I was hurting 2 days later, you know. The kids did really good. Link came in first, both going up and coming down. That's just some pictures of the trail. There's the fire tower itself. Looked definitely like it was operational. Bones had a little flower necklace that Julia made. There's a familiar sight, the hammock and reading. Bones is in there with Gigi chilling. In logs chilling. Not sure what that picture is. Might be just a picture of the trail. Yeah, it's the lake trail. It goes all the way around. It was a really nice trail. Gigi can do this thing where she hangs upside down in the hammock. It's pretty cool. There is the last night we were there. The sun finally came out, and Julia got a halfway decent picture of the sunset. So it was kind of cool. We stayed up and had a fire and told some ghost stories. It was fun. And it was a nice way to wind down for the ending of our trip. There's logs being goofy. Gigi had a good scary story. And this picture is from a lookout on the side of the road. You can just see, you know, really, really far. I wish I would have brought binoculars or something to just peer off into the distance, but just absolutely beautiful there. Really enjoyed our time. Definitely we're unprepared. We have, like I said, I hadn't gone camping in a long time, and I forgot some of the things that I normally pack. You know, food, for instance, some of the things we forgot. We were in no position to go down to the grocery store. It was an hour, at least an hour in a ride just to get to like a Dollar General. And we just said, you know what, we'll just do without. But it's a national forest area. I typically prefer those types of parks because the smaller ones allow you to do so much more. This would be considered a small park in the scheme of things, but it allows you to do so much more on it. And the people that work it and maintain it are just really good people. Not something like a high density campground area where you go and there's just hundreds of people. At best, you're going to have, you know, sites with 20, 24, something like that of, you know, campsites on the loop. So it's not big at all. But definitely we'll plan again for next time. I almost said next year. But the next time we do it, we're going to be a little better prepared, and hopefully things will go a little smoother for us and we won't be as uncomfortable. But, well, thanks for watching the slideshow with me, folks. And if you enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up. If you had any questions or any comments about the wilderness area, if you're familiar with it, go ahead and leave me a comment. I'd appreciate it. So thanks, folks. Have a great day.